everybody, and welcome to episode 13 of the Property Moms podcast, where the juggle is real all of the time. We never get a break. It's just always, the juggle is a struggle. I'm Alisa MacQuinn.
I'm Chelsea McKinney, and today we have our very first guest. Jennifer Grant with Silverton Mortgage is here with us today, and she actually messaged me and had a really good discussion topic that we're just going to kind of dive right into, because the last month and a half has been shit, if anybody's wondering. So we're not going to do an update today.
We're going to kind of skim over all that and just
over all that. Yeah. So Jennifer, tell us, first of all, a little bit about yourself, and then we can just dive right in.
Okay. Well, I'm a mom of three, and I've been doing this mommy gig a really long time. Like, my oldest will be 30 in May. Like, I don't know how that happened. Like, he's not mine. He is now the product of my fictional, much, much older sister, because I'm not going to claim him anymore as a 30-year-old child. My middle is 26 and just had our first grandchild in September. Gosh. And I have a 15-year-old at home, newly 15. So yes, I'm crazy, and my husband's hot, and stuff happens, so it's fine. Been doing this a really, really long time. I was a realtor for a long time. Now I'm a lender. I'm the money fairy. I just make the money work. I love that. It's portable. I can be where I need to be and do what I want to do, and that's worked out really, really well for us as a family, with one partner who travels and is gone 60% of the time when I'm lucky.
Yeah, I can't even fathom.
I'm glad that works for you.
But when the kids are younger, like, you can give them peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and some pretzels for dinner, and they're happy, and you can eat Cheetos and wine, and nobody's looking at you going like, is there real dinner? So there's that.
There's perks.
Yes. 100%.
And you've got a spread. So you're 15 years between your oldest and your youngest.
Yes.
Okay. Was that like, you wanted them that far apart? Or
life, we have this like big grand plan, and life says, oh, sweet pea.
Yeah,
that's cute.
Sure.
But no, hold my beer. And the older two were planned out. They're 3.5 years apart. I wish they'd have been an extra 6 months apart, because the oldest was crazy and wasn't quite chilled out enough. Fortunately, the second one was super, super easy. And then there was a divorce, and, I remarried, new partner, and we decided we're going to have one more, and we thought it was going to take, we're a little older, 6 months, a year, boom, no, right away. Here we go. This is what we're doing. So
chemistry.
That was fine. Fun. Yeah. And he was, that third one.
That's why we don't have thirds.
Right.
Yeah.
If he had been first, it'd been one and done.
Really?
No, he never slept more than, 35 or 40 minutes ever for the whole first 3 months of his life.
Oh, man.
I really don't remember. I don't remember. I think he slept through the night the first time. He was maybe 19 months old. And again, partner on the road, no family here.
Oh, my gosh.
The teenagers helped, but still, when you're mom, everybody wants you. Mm-hmm. It's got to be you.
Yep.
So, it was, we did it. We all survived. Might be a little PTSD, but it's okay.
Oh, my
Do you feel like, just going to jump right into this heavy topic right off the bat, do you recall going through any like PPD during that time? Not
with the third one. After my daughter, because I have two boys. The bookends are my boys, and the daughter in the middle. Do you have girls?
I have both mine are girls.
Both girls. Okay, and yours are all boys. I think there's a hormonal difference when you carry girls. Like, I had never had that, honey, why are you crying? I don't know, but I can't stop. Other than with her. Because you have your hormones, and you have baby's hormones, and things are all over the place. Mm-hmm. She was the only one. And yeah, after that, I would definitely say there was some postpartum depression.
Interesting. I've never thought about it like that. But yeah, that would be interesting.
You have this flood of estrogen. That's why they say that teenage girls are so difficult. They're high on estrogen. This flood of estrogen. And then you hit menopause, which I'm like knocking on the door of. Not quite there, but it's not very far away. And they say it's almost like withdrawal. You're coming off the drug because those levels are dropping so much. So it makes sense. You're carrying a girl, you have your estrogen, you have hers, and then all of a sudden it drops off, and
that makes a lot.
100%.
That makes me feel better. I feel validated now.
Well, that also, so my sister-in-law, she has two boys and then a girl, and she had some pretty bad postpartum depression after the girl.
Yeah.
And
didn't really have it with the boys, just with her.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Interesting. I wonder if there's a study. I'm gonna look when we get done. I'm gonna look because now I need to know. Because I mean that would be so like, pivotal to know. Like, oh, you're carrying a girl. Hey, heads up. Like, you're at a higher risk. I mean, I feel like, but I also feel like PPD is so like underrepresented in terms of like people that care, because like you gotta think like half the population is men, half women, and if only some of those are having girls, and if that's the case, then like it's not like a massive demographic in terms of like everyday people. But that would be interesting to know, because my next door neighbor is expecting now, and they've been kind of talking about it for a while, so I'm like already like preparing to like sit down and talk with her and be like, I don't want to scare you, but I also wish that someone had sat me down to just be like,
100%.
Yeah.
And that's why I sent the note to Chelsea about this whole like in between thing, is nobody warns you about that. And a lot of women do end up in depression, and we'll start at the beginning in a minute, I'm sure, but because nobody says, oh, hey, this is coming, start weaving your net now, so that you're ready when you get to that. And I think everything that I have read on motherhood, and you watch things people write about famous people who've had babies, my least favorite word now involving anything with motherhood is the word snap. Snap out of it or snap back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, she's already snapped back to her pre-baby.
No
whatever.
snapping.
I was about to say,
Or snap out of it.
No.
Yeah, that's easy for some guy to tell you to snap out of it when you're leaking from everywhere and your hormones are crazy and you have a toddler at home and a new baby.
I think I heard that wrong because I heard snack. And I have been snacking real. I got the
That's
snacking part
thinking.
down. Yeah,
Wishful
I got that part
thinking.
down.
Yeah.
So going back to the in-between. Let's talk about how you kind of introduced me to the in-between, because I'm not in that season. I know I will be, and I went to a wedding, okay, when my kids were probably like 1 and 3, and it was they had like the daddy-daughter dance and the mother-son dance, and the mother-son dance, I just sat there and like bawled, and Ammon was like,
get it together.
what is going through your head right now? And I was like, that's gonna be me and our boys one day. And I was like, oh my God, they're 3 and 1, and I'm thinking 17 to 20 years in the future. Like, what?
It's that fast.
So go into the in-between.
Well, I mean, I started thinking about this because I'm at that, and there was no term for it. Maybe there is a book I haven't seen. I mean, like, I read everything. I haven't seen a book, and I don't know what to call it, so I started calling it the in-between. So like right now for you guys, you're still so deep in the mommy weeds where everybody needs something, and you end the day and you're touched out and the dog wants to sit on you and you're like, get off, I cannot stand with one more thing touching me today. You're not thinking about this. And then I think that ends, and our culture is a culture of busy now, and we glorify busy. And if you have more than one child and they're both involved in multiple activities, you're running from thing to thing to thing, and you have the big master calendar, and you're trying to keep track of, okay, Tuesday's purple day and they have to wear all purple, and so needs this for the class party, and this one wants this in his lunch next week, but that one doesn't like it, so I have to have something. You're thinking about all those things, and then all of a sudden they grow up, and maybe it's all at once and the nest is empty, but maybe it's more gradual. Like, fortunately, thank you, Jesus, my kids are not sporty. Like, they're nerdy. So we've never done this endless, all that activity, busy and all of that. We really value boredom. We think kids should be bored. And they've had ample opportunity for that. And for chores if they complain about being bored. So they stop complaining about being bored and find something to do. Or maybe it's just that now the kid can drive and they're driving themselves to all these things, or they've realized, what, soccer's not fun anymore. I don't want to do it. And that's been 6 days a week or 5 days a week or whatever of your life for years. I don't want to play the piano anymore, or hip hop dance, or whatever the thing is. And I think oftentimes women are realizing that their whole life has been their kids. And yes, they have mommy friends, but they're casual, they're sideline friends that they only talk to at the soccer game, or they text about, hey, I'll bring a this if you'll bring a that. They're not people you call and you say, okay, I can't even get out of my pajamas today, and I don't even know if I can stand to talk to anybody, but can I come over and bring wine and we just sit on the sofa and watch trash TV and drink wine and don't talk to each other? Like, they're not that kind of friend.
Yeah.
You know? And husbands, you know, no offense to the dads, but husbands often aren't as deep in all of this as we are. It, you know, it's a mommy thing. Yep. And then all of a sudden there's this huge well of time. What do you do with that? What am I supposed to do? And you realize your hobbies are gone because you've been so wrapped around your kids' hobbies for so many years. And your close friend group often has scattered because they were off in the mommy weeds too. And I do think that's why depression does hit women so much. And, you know, people talk about the transition to an empty nest, but sometimes it happens before that. You know, when my kid's at home, he's 15. I'm almost 50. I'll be 50 in the fall. I'm not cool. I mean, not to him.
I think you're cool, but
I mean, you know, he's at the other end of the house, and he'll wander in where I am on a regular basis only because I sit in the room right next to the kitchen. Like, I use the bait. He'll come in, he'll talk to the cats, he'll talk to me for a minute, and he wanders off. But if we spend a whole weekend at home and I added all that together, an hour, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, so fortunately that's been something I've been thinking about because I wasn't as busy as women often are. And you do have to weave your net, and you have to make sure you're scheduling time with your girlfriends without the kids, not at the soccer field. You know, all of those things. I have a couple of hobbies lined up that I've always wanted to do this. By golly, now it's my turn and I can go do this. I can take lessons or, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Almost like having to like rediscover who you are,
100%,
which could be completely different from
who you were when you had
who you were
kids.
beginning. Yeah, it reminds me of like the similar situation like when I went through a divorce also, and for so long, like I had not only been in the mom role, which can be like all consuming at times. I had allowed that to totally consume who I was, in addition to also being like my husband of the time's caretaker. So like I had no identity when I decided to get divorced. I had no clue, and that was scary. Like that was terrifying. I was like, I don't know who I am. I don't know how to figure out who I am. Like, what if I don't like these things anymore? Like, where do I even start? You know? And so like even the thought of living through that again, like, and not losing your identity as a mom, but like having to separate those.
Yes.
And find your own identity again is like, I'm glad you're telling me all this now. Because I think like when we're in this stage, we're like, okay, like one day I'm going to have like my time to myself again. Like I'm going to get to be able to sit down and read the book. I'm going to get to like to be able to take the long bath. Like, you know, I'm not going to have
but
to
it's going
schedule
to feel
getting
so
down.
weird.
Yeah.
Like when you get it, it's going to feel weird.
Yeah. Because like right now it feels guilty. Like, you know, if I go get my nails done, I feel guilty. Yeah. So like when you have nothing to feel guilty about because your kids are off doing their own thing, like that's going to be a hard habit to break, you know, like.
Well, and so often I feel like our identities are kind of based on who we surround ourselves with. So I'm Archer's mom, I'm Ammon's wife, I'm Tim's daughter, I'm, you know what I mean? Like those are all things that I'm super proud of and like they're wonderful, but like who am I?
Yeah.
And that's what started this whole thing was that question, who are you?
Well, and so Alisa and I are in a small group together, and we met, well, I met last week for the first time, and we watched a video, and it's all about building your community, right? And we watched a video, and we were kind of like talking about things in the video that stood out to us, and it really is all about building your community, which and the thing that I took away from that I actually said out loud was I've always been like, I'm a one-man show, okay? I'll have one or two friends at a time, and I like since elementary school, okay, for as long as I can remember, I have one or two good friends. I don't have groups of people. I pride myself on not needing that. Like, I never want to be like the needy friend. I don't want to be the friend that you feel like you have to answer immediately because otherwise I'll, think you don't love me anymore or something like that. Like, I cannot be the needy friend. And so this has been my entire life. I have 1 or 2 friends at a time. I've never had a community outside my family, but like, have I been thriving?
Have you found, though, at any time that people have called you standoffish because of that? Because you keep your group really small?
I mean, I just
probably not to your face if they
people
do.
Exactly.
Exactly.
You know, I don't know if I see people that I know from like high school and college going on trips with their friend groups, and I'm like,
That makes me
Same.
a little twitchy.
God, how?
Same.
Like that's something.
I don't know that I could gather 5 people. You know, like.
So wasn't it you and I were talking about like how I kind of want to plan this trip like for next year where like I just take a handful of my friends and we like rent a cabin in Mentone and like we read books. We might go hiking. We might like go hit some coffee shops, but like it's just like very chill and just like we don't necessarily have to talk to each other. If you want to be in like the trash TV room and like I'll read my book over like whatever. But like I like hanging out with friends. I don't have that many that I consider like. I was thinking about it. I'm like, well, I'd want to take Chelsea and like maybe Nisa, but like.
Who else?
I don't really have that many people that like I
But
could,
you know, it's hard when you try to do it. The last time I did that, it like all blew up because I said clearly, like I set the expectation, I am not the hostess. I am the door unlockerer. You know, we were borrowing. We had a friend who had a great big house down on Ono Island. They never stayed there. They had a condo on the beach. They bought it to flip in a really down market. They held it for like 2.5 years, and it was fully furnished. And we went there. Everybody brought their kids. And then all of a sudden it was, oh, well, we can take turns making dinner. No, I don't cook when I'm at the beach. And, oh, well, we can all do, no. And here is my schedule. I don't go to the beach at 10 o'clock in the morning when kids are grumpy and difficult. And in an hour, they're hungry and they're tired. And you got to pack it all back up again and drag it all through the sand back to the car and go home and get everybody cleaned off and get them ready to, you know, all the things. I'm like, nope, we hang out at home. We watch movies. We'll play in the pool. I'll feed him lunch. I'll put him down for a nap. Lucius was, 3 maybe. And then we'll pack up the cooler. 2:30, 3 o'clock. Yeah. We'll go to the beach. All the unhappy kiddos have been taken home by then. It's not crowded. It's a little cooler. We'll hang out. We'll peel shrimp on the beach, eat dinner, and then we'll pack up and go home. And they're all like, what? And I was like, it's not that I don't want to hang out with you guys. It's just this is a schedule that works for us, and this is what we're doing. Anybody that wants to do this with us, great. But I got called standoffish because I didn't want to do things with them. I'm like, if I tried to keep the schedule, I'm watching them. I'm like, this makes me tired just to watch this. So it has to be the right friend group. You need a bunch of cats, you know, that literally one can go, oh, hey, I'm going for a hike over here. Anybody wants to go? Great. If not, bye. And that's okay with that. And doesn't get their feelings hurt because nobody else jumps up and says, I want to go too, because she wants to go take a bath and I don't know, read a Judith Krantz novel or whatever, and somebody else wants to watch trash TV and be by themselves, and that should be okay. But you got to like interview the group to make
shouldn't have
sure
to sacrifice your peace to save face. Like, yeah, for sure. So.
I don't know if I come off as standoffish. Maybe, probably.
I don't think so.
But like,
I'm also know you, so
right. Yeah. But like, I'm an extroverted introvert.
Same.
Like I prefer to be by myself or prefer to be in very small groups. But if I'll work a room if I have to. Right. You know what I mean? So I don't know if that's how I'm perceived, but it's definitely like I have 2 people I talk to on a regular basis. That's not my family.
Yeah. Same.
I don't know that that's normal.
Well, I mean, but here's 3 of us, and I'm sitting here thinking about it, I'm like, I probably resemble that remark. Yeah. You know, there might be 2 or 3 others that are every once in a while on a relatively regular basis, but not like all the time. And yeah, I mean, I've gotten the standoffish, but I mean, I'm an only child. I am kind of a cat. I'm perfectly content with my own company. Give me a book and I'm good. If I don't see people for 2 days, okay.
Yeah. But see, I'm totally needy with my family.
I'm needy.
I'm
with
like
mine
the
too.
neediest of needies ever. I really am. Like, and I just think that's they can handle it.
Well, and your family's really tight, so you get those needs met there, and you're not having to go, further out for it.
Right.
Yeah. my family's who I talk to all the time. Like, me and my mom, we talk a few times a day. Me and my dad, we would talk like 5 to 10 times a day. I shit you not. He was the first person I talked to in the morning, last person I talked to at night, and then in between. And like, now that he's gone, me, my sister, my stepmom, my mom, we're on a group chat. We're texting like all the time. And like, I feel comfortable being needy with them, as I always have, because they're my family. They're not going to be like, God, you're so annoying.
Right.
You know, I mean, they probably think that.
No.
Or if they do, you can say, so what?
Yeah. Deal with it.
Yeah. You the one that texted me first. You started this. So I'm just finishing it. Yeah. No, but like, I'm just so comfortable being needy with them that I've never been comfortable being needy with friends. Like, I'm not the friend that will text you every day. I don't ever want to talk on the phone. Yeah. Like, ever.
I know.
I
think even you and I have only talked on the phone
and
two, maybe 3 times.
Every single time you're like, this is really weird. I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
The only time I ever call her because it's too much to text.
There's the age difference because, like, growing up, we were on the get off the phone.
Yeah.
Because we were always we didn't have texting.
We were still kind of in that phase of like middle schoolish, and then texting became like the thing. But
yeah. I remember being younger and wanting to talk on the phone all the time, but now I'm just like, text is so much easier.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, like, I need my hands all of the time now. So like a guy called about land this morning, and I was literally standing in front of the thing, like, with just a bra and my underwear on, like, on speaker, doing my eyeliner, and I'm like, yeah, the land is really great. Like, like, I need my hands. So, like,
that's normal. Real estate life, that's normal life. I was doing the same thing. I was on the phone with an agent. I'd just gotten out of the shower, was getting dressed and putting makeup on, and she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, trying not to poke myself in the eyeball with mascara.
If I wasn't a realtor, I would never answer my phone.
Same.
Ever.
You have no idea. I love what I do, and I'm still having a great time with it, so I don't feel like I have a quote-unquote job. But the dream of never having to look at my phone in a day, like, that's my happy place, to just sit there for like 2 minutes and think about what that's going to be like when that happens. I'm sure it's going to completely weird me out when it does happen, but right now it sounds amazing.
It will for the first day or two. Chelsea and I were just talking about this in our group the other day. We were talking about like favorite vacation spots, and I was talking about being in Yellowstone, and my phone didn't work. There was no service in Yellowstone, so like I pulled it out like once or twice to like snap some pictures, but like I didn't really take it out. And the first day or two, it was so weird because you're constantly like, oh well, yeah, I can't do that. And then by the end of it, you're like, oh my gosh, I feel so at peace. It took me a solid 2 weeks to get used to checking my phone again.
And then the minute you drive back into cell service, bing, 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 it all comes in at once. And you're like, great, here we go.
I know. Part of me wishes that like the whole grid would just go down and we wouldn't have cell phones anymore. But the other part of me is too scared for that.
I understand that. But like my daughter and I do that. I mean, we text all day, every day. We don't talk. If she's calling me, it's Mom. I'm like, okay, what's wrong?
Yeah. Is this your one phone call? Like, what's happening?
I'm like, hello?
Yeah. So, what's funny about all this is like talking about my mom. My mom is, I kind of consider her on like the tail end of the in-between. Because like when I lived with my dad and I was the youngest. So like she got rid of me early on. So like in 9th grade, I moved up here. And so she had like gotten remarried and all that stuff. And I think she would say this as well, because we've had some talks about it, but like a lot of that was like identity seeking and finding, she's like, oh, I've been a mom, I've been a wife for so long, like now all my kids are gone, like I need that identity, like, and I think that was kind of, she found out the hard way that wasn't necessarily like the best route, initially. And I think she's done a really good job of finding her identity since then. She's like grandma, but she's also like volunteering, and she's like in a women's group, and like she does all these things, and she's like been really graceful at like figuring out like who she is again and where she fits in life. And I think a lot of that, you mentioned menopause too. I think going through that in between of like either coming up on or being upon menopause, like in that time, like I can't imagine having to go through all of that and then hitting that like huge hormonal change at the same time. Like, oh man, just knowing how like my body responds to that kind of thing, I'm like, oh boy. Like she's on the patches that like postpone. Yeah, they like postpones your menopause. But then once you come off of them, like
crash.
you go through menopause.
I'm so grateful to have older girlfriends who've like already done that, and they're like, "Oh, do you have the rage yet?" And I'm like, "No," and they're like, "Oh, you're fine."
That's so funny. I think my mom went through menopause early. Like, she was probably 50 when she went through menopause. And it was like some hot flashes for about a year.
Yeah.
And that was it. Like, she got out relatively unscathed.
But some women are like, they hate the world and all the people in it. And, you know, my mom and I have no relationship. There's like a whole Jerry Springer episode waiting in the green room about that. We haven't really talked since I was about 14. So I don't know. I don't know. That there's like this hole, and I don't have that information. So you know, it's all just going to be a gamble, and we'll see what happens.
Figure it out yourself.
My mom is 71,
and she's
sorry, Mom,
and she has not.
She started to, and then she went on the patches, and so it's been postponed.
Wow.
Who wants to do that?
I know. Yeah, she's like, not today. Oh my gosh.
Fair enough.
My mom does not look 71 at all, but
I started hormone therapy 5 years ago because I was already like having the hot flashes and the night sweats, and I wasn't sleeping, and you know, it's really low doses of stuff, and it's really just progesterone. You know, so many doctors now they want to shoot women full of testosterone, which makes them super aggressive. And that's not necessarily the answer. I finally found a doctor I really, really love. I gave up on male doctors, period. I was like, okay, you have
just don't understand.
No, like you just don't get it.
And they can still be empathetic and not get it, and you're just like,
yeah,
exactly. I'm the same way, although I don't think I ever did it like consciously, but like all of my doctors are female, even my dentist.
I don't think any of my doctors are female. Like my OB's
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I had a really poor experience with a female OB. Who she
wasn't at Clinic for Women. She was at
I go to OBGYN Associates.
Yeah.
But I had really great experience. So like there are 10 doctors in the practice, and so you never know who's going to be on call when you go to deliver your child. So they tell you like you should see everybody in the practice during your pregnancy. And I had really great experiences with 2 of the male doctors, and the one female doctor that I saw at like 37 weeks, she walked in, did not introduce herself, said, "Your blood pressure's high, go to the ER right now for an induction." And I was like, how about you look at my chart? Because my blood pressure's been high my entire pregnancy.
Yeah.
And you can look back at the pregnancy from 2 years ago or 18 months ago and also see that I had high blood pressure my entire pregnancy. It wasn't an issue. Baby was fine. I'm not going to be induced. Sorry.
Yeah.
And she said, well, you have to go to the ER for monitoring. I was like, all right, whatever. I'll go to the ER for monitoring. Went to the ER. Lo and behold, everything's fine.
Yeah. With
the baby. Baby's fine. But I went back the following day to my OB to get checked again because they were gonna make me have this monitoring like daily because of my high blood pressure, which I wasn't worried about. I wasn't feeling any type of way about it. And I went back the next day and I saw my male OB who actually ended up delivering Warren, and I was like, this like people, okay, so you don't voluntarily induce until you're 39 weeks. Okay, unless it's dire. And she's telling me I may have been 38 weeks. It was probably my 38-week appointment, not 37. And I was like, and this lady wanted me to go in for an induction yesterday, just after having seen my blood pressure. And I said, what happens between 38 and 39 weeks that's like so important that you don't like voluntarily have an induction until 39 weeks? And he said, well, it's thought that there's a protective coating still developing around your baby's brain. And I was like,
oh, we need that.
Yeah, I'm not having this baby right now.
Yeah.
Like, he can stay in there.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
And she was just so flippant about it, and like, so I'm not going to answer your questions. Like, This is what you need to do. I got more patients to see. Bye.
Yeah, you're not mine.
And none of the male doctors were like that.
Yeah.
So, I don't have any female doctors.
I'm so sorry that happened to you.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
I just had this thought that, you know, if you don't have one, I really don't want you telling me what to do with mine.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I never saw a group like that. Like, I wanted to know who my person was, so I stayed. And the same doctor delivered my middle one and my third one. And then she retired. She was amazing. Like, amazing. And a lot of people said, oh, she has no bedside manner. I'm like, she's just not chatty. Like, she was super, like, she walked in the room, and no matter how jazzed up everybody was about whatever bad thing was going on, the energy instantly, like, chilled out because she was competent and she was in charge and she knew what she was doing without needing to grandstand and be mouthy about it.
Yeah.
She was phenomenal. I mean, both of them with any other doctor would have been a C-section, 100%. She's like, no, we can have that baby out in 2.5 minutes if we need to. This is better. We're just going to hang out here. She stayed in my room, 2 hours. Never left my room for 2 hours with Lucius.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's impressive.
Induced 9 days early because he was the size of a hippopotamus.
That's really...
How big? Do you remember how big he was?
He was 22 inches long. Was the big thing. I'm 5'3".
Yeah.
Like, there was no
Not
room.
a lot of room in
Holy
there.
cow.
He was 8 pounds 10.
Okay.
But his head was huge, and even still, you know, everybody was sort of on edge of, okay, we're gonna have to cut this baby out. She's like, no, we've done this together before. We're just gonna, and I didn't have drugs, so like that was fun.
Oh, you didn't, girl. An epidural is my drug of choice.
I had issues from my second one. The anesthesiologist grazed a nerve in my spine, and I had major issues for about 6 months and minor for about 5 years. And I was like, nope, we won't be doing that again.
Oh, no.
See, those are the things we try not to think about while, like, we're holding on, like there's a needle in our back and our husbands are trying to pass out.
Yes.
But I don't know. I have a high pain tolerance for a lot of things, but I know I don't have a high pain tolerance from my knees to my hips.
Yeah.
Let's just not. I just don't even.
I've seen pictures of, like, I don't know how we got on this subject.
Here
It was
we
probably
are.
my
Yeah.
fault, but I've seen pictures of, like, women having natural births, and they just look so, like, calm and peaceful.
Well, like
and
my
I'm just like,
sister-in-law or my ex-sister-in-law.
I couldn't. I don't think I could.
Yeah.
And I would never look that peaceful.
Well, you know, Brittany did the one in her in
a
a
water,
blow-up pool in
yeah.
her apartment or whatever,
Yeah.
and she's just like, it's fine, everything's fine, like we're good. I'm not that person.
I can't wrap my head around being in the pool
I can't
thing.
either.
You know, having been through that experience and all of the stuff that comes with that, and you're thinking that's all in the pool.
My
and I'm
husband
in
wouldn't have
there
been
with that.
present if I had chosen that method. He would have been like, I'm not for that. Like, I
Yeah.
support you, but I will not be in that
I will
room.
not be doing that.
And
Yeah.
both of my babies were out in 3 pushes, but I cannot imagine having an unmedicated 3 push.
God, no. Yeah, no.
Lucius was probably the same because they started Pitocin at 6 in the morning, and Dr. Miller comes in. She's like, "Okay, Mom, we'll be in and out of here by lunch." Lunchtime comes and goes.
Yeah.
1 o'clock comes and goes. 2 o'clock comes and goes. Finally got his head sorted out, and it was like 3 contractions, and we were done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm the show here. Y'all calm down. I say when we go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He is stubborn.
So he's 15. He'll be driving. Yeah. Is he already starting to practice?
The youngsters, they don't care.
They don't care?
Like, we were chomping at the bit to drive. Well, first of all, he doesn't want to go anywhere. So I think that's part of it. Because I'm like, don't you want to be able to drive yourself? He's like, Mom, where would I go?
He's like, I'm too good at being bored now. Like, I'm good.
Yeah, he's fine. And he flies, so he'll solo, by 16. So he's very focused on ground school and all that, driving. Mm-hmm. The only reason why we have an appointment for him to take the test for his permit is because I made it. I was like, I'm just gonna do it. I'm like, do you want to do this close to your birthday? Because his birthday was a Saturday. He's like, no, not really. I'm like, when do you want to do it? I don't know. I don't really know. That's his thing. I don't really know. I'm like, okay, well, Monday of spring break week, this is when we're going to go do this. Mm-hmm. So here's your booklet. Please study.
Yeah.
Is he going to pass? Who knows? I don't know.
When's his birthday?
It was the 27th of January. Okay. And he gets his permit in March if he passes. So we'll see. Passed Algebra 2 with Trig as a freshman, but...
Wow. He's probably all right then. You never know, I guess.
He still sits in the back seat because he's giant. And, I wouldn't let him sit up front till he was 13. He's 13. He's all excited. He sits up front. And he's like, I don't really have room up here. I'm going back to the
Oh, my gosh.
That's funny.
That's hilarious. So his dad flies, too, right? Okay. So that's where he developed his love of flying?
Yeah, he's been flying with James since he was probably 4.
Wow.
He first had sole control of an aircraft when he was 7.
Nice.
Used Highway 53 as his, he wasn't like alone.
Yeah. See you later.
God.
Yeah, he was using Highway 53 as his visual to hold his headings and all of that. He's done an unassisted jet landing. He's done an unassisted cross country. Daddy was with him, but it's okay, buddy. Here's the mission. It's all you. Go.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So
that's wild. I would be so terrified for my child.
Do you want to hear a funny story?
There's less to hit up there.
Sure.
Michael Sullivan.
Yeah.
So she used to date the guy I had a crush on, Patrick Sullivan. You knew that.
I didn't
Shut up. Yes, you did. Anyways, he had a twin brother named Michael, and we all were in Air Force ROTC together in high school. And so I don't think Patrick knew that. If he ever sees this, I had a crush on you in high school. Anyways, surprise. But Michael took me and 2 of my friends up in an airplane for like my I think it's my 19th or my 20th birthday. Mm-hmm. And because like we'd done like flight sims and stuff together, he was like, "Oh, do you want to fly?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So like I'm up there like flying this plane, and then he like stalls it out, and we like do all this fun stuff. And yeah, I don't think I ever told you that, but yeah.
Gosh. I would be terrified. I would be. I first of all, my parents would never. They would have murdered me before they let me go up in an airplane with Michael.
Yeah.
But like, oh my God, if it was my child flying, I'd be like, oh, I have to be there with you because if you're going down, we're all going down. Yeah. Like, I would be terrified.
Yeah, she would.
Yeah.
You'd have to abduct her child.
I will not be told when he's going to solo. I will find out afterward. I'm sure.
Lord.
Fortunately, Daddy was a military pilot, and trains him for crazy situations and all the things, and look at how many car accidents
she's freaking out.
There are.
My heart, like I should check my heart rate right now.
Like that's why he says he's not interested in driving. He said he's not worried about him. I mean, he's going to be like the one most likely to get flipped off for driving like a granddad because he's going to drive slow. Yeah. He's worried about everybody else because he sees and probably hears me say unladylike words about people that are staring at their phone and decide to cut across 5 lanes of traffic to get off on this exit like it was a surprise.
Yeah.
So that's, I think that's his holdback. So yeah, good times. Man. James just put the big heavy steel bumpers on the Land Cruiser and I was driving it and I felt like I was like driving the bus with the Partridge Family or something on the way here.
Yeah.
Man, when I was 16.
Oh, I couldn't wait.
I could not wait. No.
And I had like the ugliest car, but I was so ready.
That day. My dad got me for my 16th birthday the car that he would have wanted for his 16th birthday. And it was like souped up Ford Taurus SHO with like he got me the darkest tint he could get me. He got me like a subwoofer in the back, so I was like beaten on the way to school. Like it was awesome. It was awesome. Yeah. Thanks, Dad. Yeah. But yeah, he got me that car, and I drove it until it could not be driven anymore. And then he got me another car that he would have wanted to get himself.
Yeah.
Except it had a terrible blind spot. So, and I was like. I was driving to Tuscaloosa, and home for college, and that like the 65 2059 interchange or whatever, you cannot have a bad blind spot and like safely make it across those lanes of traffic. Mm-hmm. So I got rid of that car not too soon after I got it, but man.
He's gonna be the guy that drives home all the girls from the party that the boys that they went with are too drunk to drive them home,
and he'll be smart to do
and
so.
is pulling somebody out with a winch, who's off in a ditch somewhere, and
yeah. The reliable one.
Yes,
exactly.
He will be. He will be. And I told him, I said, it's very likely. You're not going to be the one that gets the girl. You're going to be the one that she calls when things go badly. Yeah. But eventually she'll grow up and go, oh, hey, wait.
Yeah.
That one.
It'll take her a while. Yeah. So do you feel like you're at the in-between, you're in the in-between, or you're hitting the end of the in-between?
I think I'm I think I'm there because now, like, I can leave him home. You know, I can go on a girls' trip to the mountains or whatnot for 2 nights and not worry about, can James be home to, you know, be for 2 nights. He's 15. He's 6'1". Like, he's fine. He's going to sit in the house with the cat, and he's going to play games with his friends online. He's not the kid that's going to be throwing a party. I mean, I don't really think he's had enough fun personally, because I've had way more fun by that age. He's just not that kid. So yeah, I have that now. I have that space of time where if I want to go shopping all day in Nashville, okay, I can, and I can leave. He's like, please don't make me go. Let me stay home. So yeah, but I did what you did when my older two, who are so close together, I realized I had fallen into that trap of who I was to other people. Because right now, for the two of you guys, if you get up on Saturday morning and somebody says, oh, hey, Chelsea, what do you want to do today? Your first thought is not what you want to do. You're like, well, Archer has this at this time, and we have this at Mom's, and I was going to go visit Dad today, or you know what you have, what other people are expecting from you. I get up on a Saturday and go, what do I want to do today? Now, most of the time, that's sit in my pajamas with Kat and watch trash TV, or read a book or whatever. But I know I can. I have that freedom, and I have. You know, I've cultivated those relationships with girlfriends because I was like, okay, this is where I am. I've lost who I am. And I really, like, that freaked me out to realize that. So I think I got that early. And I was
At what point did you realize that? Was there, like, a moment?
There were a bunch of, surrounding a divorce, there were a bunch of moments. And that was the beginning of it, was I realized I didn't have anything that was just mine anymore. You know, that was just me, like, all by myself. I was somebody's wife, I was so-and-so's mom, and all of those things. And they were, gosh, the older two were probably, I don't know, 4 and 7, and I had like a super early midlife crisis, and the divorce was part of that. And he kept asking me, you know, what is it, I'm like, I don't know, I can't articulate it. And then finally, after we'd separated, I'm like, you know, I realized what it is. And he said, what? And I said, I don't like who I am when I'm with you. And, you know, that's a really kind of an introspective moment that you go, okay, I'm like riding the broomstick when I'm with this man. There's something about the personalities isn't working. And that did give me that space to go, okay, what do I want to do when I grow up? Like, what do I want to do with the rest of my life? So I put a lot of I wasn't even 30. So I did that really early. But I think so often women are my age, you know, they're 45, they're 50, they're 55, when all of a sudden the last child can drive and go do their own things, or they're leaving to go to college or going to the military or whatever. And they're sitting there not only wondering who they are, but looking at a partner that maybe they've both been focused on kids and have lost sight of each other, and going to, I know you. Or I really haven't liked you for the last 10 years, and I'm just totally realizing that right now.
And it's so easy, like, to happen. I mean, and I can think of, like, here recently, you know, Andrew and I have been having, like, lots of conversations that kind of, like, are in that realm, too, because having a 2-year-old, so we have an 8-year-old and a 2-year-old, and our 8-year-old, God love her, okay? I love her to pieces, but she's from my first marriage, and she's a lot like her dad. And so we struggle a lot. You know, she'll go to his house for like 3 days and then come home. And it's this constant struggle where, like, we spend the next 3 days getting her back on track, you know, like, back with the respect.
You have
back
to
with
fix it every time she comes back.
And then she goes back. And it's just this, like, vicious cycle that we go through. And so, you know, between us dealing with that, trying to keep our cool, trying to do it in a healthy way, we're so focused on her. We also have a 2-year-old who's 2. So she's like, you know, toddler tiara, 100%, right? Like, she is the sass. She has to have all of our attention. So, like, at the end of the day, we're zonked. Like, we are done. I'm running 2 businesses. He's got his own. He comes out, like, we are done. We're fried. The last thing I want to do is have conversations. I don't really, like, I love you, but I don't really care to, like, I'm done. My brain is fried.
I don't want to know about your day.
I don't want to know about your day. Yeah, like, and I genuinely do, but it's like, I just don't, like, I don't have the mental capacity.
It's the bandwidth.
Yeah. That has been my word for the last 2 years. Is I'm all about preserving bandwidth, and sometimes you just go, I don't have bandwidth for that.
And I don't want so many days to go by like that, because it'll be 5 years, 10 years, and then I'll look up and be like, we haven't had a legitimate conversation in 10 years, and I don't even know who you are anymore. You know, like,
write him notes. I mean, I think for James and I, like half of our relationship has been through notes left on the kitchen table. Because like this morning, he got out of bed at 3. Did I get out of bed at 3?
I hope not.
He was out the door by 4.
Yeah.
I was up by 4:15. It's close to the time change. Tennessee farm girl. You know, like about an hour before daylight, I'm starting to wake up. So it's gradually moving earlier. But I was in bed at like 20 after 8 last night,
wow.
which is probably a pipe dream in your house.
My kids aren't even asleep.
No.
It used to be, but now I stay up and read till like midnight because it's how I have to escape.
Well, right, because that's what you do when kids are little is you find yourself shortchanging yourself of sleep because it's the only time that you get.
Yeah.
That's it.
Archer wants to snuggle. Just 5 more minutes, Mom. And I'm like, baby, Mommy has to go watch TV.
Yeah.
I have to go watch TV because YouTube is on all day and stupid YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And
Right.
songs.
Yeah.
I was like,
But I got
sorry,
up this
buddy.
morning. There was a note on the table for me and one for Lucius. You know, and I'll leave notes for him, and his breakfast is packed and it's in a box, and there'll be a note on his box, or there'll be a note on the back door. Don't forget your food.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
That is
You know,
sweet.
but at least it's a something of connect. You know, often we don't necessarily need something from that person. We don't need them to do something for us. We just need to know that they're there and they want to do things for us, maybe, or that they're available. So it's just looking for those little connection things.
Yeah. We have had certain things that we do, like, you know, certain ways that we connect and stuff, but it's like I'm protecting it so like intensely this time. That wasn't what happened like the first go around. He was just a jerk. But this one I'm like, okay, you're worth keeping, like you're good. Like I just want to make sure that like we, you know, protect this because it's worth protecting, whereas the other one can burn in the 7th layer of hell and it's fine.
And you guys
The
are probably
relationship.
y'all are probably struggling to get, you know, date nights where we have all the time in the world for date nights, and we're like, do you wanna? No, not really. Can we just stay home?
Yeah.
That goes back to mom guilt because I'm like, you know, like I could ask my mom to come watch the girls or, you know, whatever, but like she's there with them now, you know, like she's there with them when I take pictures. So I'm like, I don't want to call her and be like,
Right?
Yeah.
hey, we actually for Valentine's Day, we bought him a steak and he bought me a salmon and we cooked a really nice dinner at home.
That sounds nice.
That's what we did. I don't want to go out to eat on a busy holiday anymore.
Oh gosh, no, because
Absolutely
food
not.
is hit or miss. Service is terrible.
And it'll be
it's
$100 and
packed
something dollars, and I'm like, I don't want to do this. It's awful.
We did lunch at Connor's on Valentine's Day, and then we chaperoned the boys taking their grandmothers out to dinner.
That's very sweet.
That is
Valentine's
so cute. Oh my gosh.
I asked Archer, I was like, buddy, do you want to get like dressed up really nicely and go knock on Mimi's door and then go knock on Nana's door and pick them up for a date night? And he kind of looked at me and he looked down and he was like, but Mom, I'm already wearing my skeleton jammies. And I was like, baby, you keep those on. That's fine.
Put a sport coat on over it. It's
They're
fine.
gonna love you anyway.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
that is so
That's precious.
precious. I
Grandmas.
love that.
Yeah, it was good.
Oh.
Yeah, I just spent a week on nanny duty. My daughter works for Boeing. She works on the C-17s. And they have a nanny there. Of course, I had no idea daycare was such a thing now. And you're on a waiting list for like 12 months.
Yeah.
And unless you were on there before you were even pregnant with the child,
Absolutely.
you don't have a spot.
Right.
So they're still waiting on a spot. So they have a nanny. Well, the nanny got COVID. And she works from home. And she's on all these meetings. And she's like, and she lives 3 streets up the hill from me. So I had my house first, for the record. I did not follow her. She followed me. And she's like, Mom, can you? And I'm like, I love my granddaughter Lilith. I'm just not the baby lady. Like,
You're not.
I'm
I
not.
love babies.
No, people are like, do you want to hold the baby? I'm like, not really. Like, if you need me to hold the baby so you can do something, sure, I'll hold the baby. When the baby's a difficult teenager that needs to go prom dress shopping, I got you. I'm your girl.
Yeah.
How old?
She's 5 months.
5 months.
So she's a little
She's getting to the
roly-poly.
fun stage.
She's
yeah.
at that
love
stage
that.
where it looks like she has rubber bands,
Oh,
on
yeah.
her thighs and her wrists, and
yeah.
she's a chunky chip.
I like the babies when they're amicable and they sleep and
She's
they're
super
not
chill.
colicky.
She's like
Yeah.
the most. She just looks around and she's a ginger. She
Yeah.
just, she's only cries when she's hungry. And I'm like, I feel you, sister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that. So she's really easy, but still, one, it taught me I'm too old to have full-time care of an infant. And 2, that my daughter's job is incredibly mind-numbingly boring.
Yeah.
Listening to her on like Zoom meetings and stuff. I'm like, how do you do that all
Yeah.
day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So boring.
I couldn't
It's
do
funny you talk about that, about her following you. I'm trying to get my mom to move in with me. I'm like, I'm planning for like the next 5-10 years. I want to move into like our forever house, and I want her to have her own. She will be living with us. Like, she knows this. I've already told her. I didn't ask. I was like, you're moving in with us at some point. I hope you know that.
Yeah.
It's not for like, it's not because like I want an in-home babysitter, although that's just the perk. She would come anyways. But like the thought of not having my mom in the same house with me or close enough that I can literally just like, I mean, she is 71. She's spry. She's not, I mean, she looks like she's in her 50s. Like, she doesn't look like in her 70s. But I'm like, we're getting to that point where, like, you're going to be with me.
Yeah.
But then
That's
what does she do when she wants to bring boys home?
I could go into so many conversations about this, but I'm not going to, because during my divorce, my oldest daughter and I lived with my mom. So there were many.
You learned a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I sure did.
Go, Mom.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I mentioned the idea once of moving in with my daughter when I was old, and she was like, I'll put you in a home.
No.
And then she said, actually, I'd put you on a cruise ship. It's cheaper, and you like to travel.
Yeah, there you
an
go.
idea.
That sounds all right. Yeah,
That's an idea.
No, I actually, there's this one house we've had our eye on for like the longest time, and it has like this weird like separate like little. It's not a building. I mean, it's like a little tiny house, and
It's a
I'm
granny
like,
flat.
yeah, I'm like, Mom, we could literally like, and then you can have like your independence to like bring boys home, you know, and then
you could stand there at the kitchen window and watch them do the
I
walk
know.
of shame.
I'm like, ooh, girl, yeah, no.
Well, what's
but-
really interesting is that after Dad passed, my stepmom has been talking about selling the house because it's 3,700 square feet. And it's just her.
Yeah.
But they're 5 doors down from me. Yeah. And I really feel like if she moves off of our street, it's going to like break up our family further. Okay. And it's awful. And so I've been going back and forth with the HOA, and I wanted to build like a detached, like mother-in-law cottage kind of situation, and they nixed that because you can't have more than 2 residents on one property. Okay. I was like, all right, well, what if I attach it to the house? That's why it's not a separate residence. I'll, start it 4 feet into the garage, and we'll have a door from the garage into the
City of
cottage.
Huntsville just turned somebody down wanting to finish out a space over their garage to create a separate apartment for their son, and they said no because they're so worried about people Airbnb-ing those.
I get that. Well, then they told me that if I attached it to my house, it would change the footprint of my house too much, and my house would be too big for the neighborhood. And I was like, what? So then I was like, all right, well, let me build a detached garage since that's allowed,
Which is
and
stupid.
convert my 3-car garage that's attached to my house into a mother-in-law suite. So they approved that.
Oh, thank God.
So
I hadn't heard back from you since we talked last. So
working. They gave me a waiver for a front-facing garage door, and because everything is side entry into this house.
Own a house with an HOA. We just sold our one and only ever condo. That was our favorite property that we would have downsized. It was a townhouse, but technically it was condo because there was a condo association, and it was such a nightmare that I'm like, I love this house, but I cannot deal with you people anymore.
It's frustrating, and everything's going to have to go through the architectural review board, and like everything has to match. So granted, like we painted our brick, so that won't be an issue, but we're going to have to brick at least the front of it. And,
right.
We're going to have to brick in the garage doors and add some windows and do a bunch of stuff. So it's, we'll be able to tie into our existing plumbing, which helps, but I feel like starting from scratch just sounds a lot easier. But
it's always, you've done so much renovation. It's easier to start from scratch.
Yeah. So my 11 o'clock meeting today was with a guy who's going to do some plans for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I love that for Mel. She deserves to stay close by and not feel like she's losing everything. So that'll be good.
Well, and when you get ready to buy that house that has the little mother-in-law suite, I know a lender lady. So
do you?
Yeah, let me know.
Do you?
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. So now's a good time. How do people that are looking for a lender?
Oh, I'm super easy to find. And everybody laughs at me because I'm literally not even on my company phone maze. I use my cell number. I have for so many years. It's just easier.
Yeah.
And yeah, 256-468-7328. I've had the same phone number for 25 years, and I'll probably have it until I die.
Yeah.
So,
Do y'all have any like cool loan things that you can offer right now?
you're like Ursula over there, you know.
No.
We're a little unusual, you know. Everybody's like, oh, we have this program and this program.
Right.
I want to talk to that buyer. Like, I'm all about personal service and really talking to them and finding out, okay, what are your goals? And asking a whole bunch of questions and finding out what their situation is, and then going, okay, let's craft the right situation for you. And I'm super fortunate. I tell people I have sugar daddy, who happens to be named Warren Buffett. So, you know, we're a Berkshire Hathaway company, and we just seem to have some flexibility that most lenders don't have, to literally sit there and turn that buyer over and over like a Rubik's Cube to find the right angle of attack to solve the problem from. And at the end of the day, I'm a problem solver. I'm a professional solution provider. So that's what we do. Instead of putting out this menu of loan programs that, especially first-time buyers, but any buyer that hasn't bought a lot of homes, and most people just don't, are looking at that going, okay, that sounds great, but I don't really know what that is or if we qualify for that. I'd rather really just connect and have a conversation and go, okay, this is what you want to do. Here's where we are. Here's what our possibilities are right now. Or here's another option. It'll take a little more time, but we can raise that credit score or whatever.
Sure.
Then that would open up another option for you and let them decide.
One that needs that last one. Yeah, she needs it. She needs a little more time for her credit score, but she's got other stuff going on too. So we've been just kind of hanging out and talking and chit-chatting because she needs to get her stuff sorted.
Hold, please.
I was about to say.
This is Chelsea. Like that. So sorry, had to answer that. Let's get back to what we were talking about.
Yeah. I have one of those like SafeSleeve things, but they fall apart because I open and close my phone too much. So,
What is it?
A SafeSleeve. It like literally blocks out the radiation. So like it looks like a regular phone case. It's got like the cover, but it's got like a radiation
I should get that for my
deflector thing.
teenager.
So you just close it and you can still talk on the phone and whatever. But of course, like if you're texting or whatever, it's open.
Yeah.
But I had it when like Lizzie was like really, really little and I was like still breastfeeding all the time because if I was on my phone, I wanted that like shield in place or whatever.
My poor kids.
They fine. They're totally fine.
Sorry, Archer.
Sorry,
Warren.
it's like one of those weird
Mommy loves
Everything
you.
we come into contact with in our life is trying to kill us in some way. You know, they're talking about Cheerios right now, the coating on Cheerios, which we've long known is carcinogen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a pesticide.
Yeah. My kids aren't big Cheerio eaters, so we dodged that bullet.
Mine are. They call them bees.
Mine eats his
Because
weight
it's-
in
because
Cheerios.
of the-
He
because
refuses
of the
to eat
bee.
them with milk. He eats them dry to this
That's
day.
what
Oh
Alice
yeah,
does it.
our kids eat them. Yeah,
So weird.
because of the little the bee on the box.
Yeah. Oh no, I was following.
They've always called them bees. They have no idea what Cheerios are.
You're going to miss that too when you stop getting all the cute little names for things. Like Annabelle, it was Picky Mouse. Picky Mouse with a P. And then all of a sudden one day she said Mickey Mouse and I was like,
Archer like rubbed it in my face when he learned to say yellow because it made me so sad. He would say lello.
Yeah.
And he would be like, Mommy, I can say yellow now. And I was like, oh.
Can you just
And
say
he
it the
would,
whole way
like,
just for fun?
He would love it when I would fake cry. So he would tell me about 15 times a day that he could say yellow now.
and then you go really cry in the pantry.
Lizzie still says milk go night night because she knows that we're weaning. So, but I'm like, it's going to come soon though. She's just going to, because we've been saying like, no, we're just going to go night night, you know, like, so, but she always goes, milk go night night, milk go night night. I'm like, Allie used to say booby snack. And we used to I got made fun of. So I breastfed Alice till she was 3 because I had a pediatrician that told me that if I breastfed her till she was 3, she was more likely to have, it's just a whole thing. But he was like, well, they had done a study on kids and they were like, the ones that were breastfed until 3 had higher IQs. And so, of course, me being a new mom, I was like, oh, my God, I have to breastfeed her too. So, like, I have to go to 3, whatever. So now I'm like, no, we're going to 2. Like, that's it.
I didn't make it past 6 months with any of the 3 of mine, and they all have classified as exceptionally good. They're fine.
Yeah, so that
Fine.
was just part
It's
of the
all
mom
good.
guilt. I have a different pediatrician now, just to say that.
That's
I
wild
know.
that the pediatrician
Was that, but
would
what,
say that.
she's 8, so was that at the height of the, like, Dr. Sears and all of that, and, like, breastfeed your child till they go to college?
This guy was just like, when we were recommended a pediatrician pediatrician from my then husband's doctor. He was like, oh, this guy's like the Dr. House of like pediatric medicine. And I was like, cool, I watch House. Like, let's do it. He must be a genius. It's fine. So like in my brain, in my postpartum psychotic, I have to do everything just right. Everything has to be perfect. Like he told me that and I'm like, 3 it is. Like it's got to be 3, you know? And so I had a 3-year-old running around like booby snack, booby snack, booby snack. And so I used to work at the pet hospital in Madison. I was a vet tech for 15 years, and they still make fun of me to this day about it, like, because they found out about it. Yeah, it is hilarious. It's super funny, but part of me's proud that, like, I was able to
That's a
do
commitment.
that for her.
Like, that's a serious...
But also, I'm
and
like,
some
I
women
never do
love
that
it, and I was like, I feel like a
did
dairy
not.
cow.
Yeah.
Like, it would be
I
fun.
like that I have, like, that connection with her, but, like, I don't want to go for much longer.
Yeah, if they have to like stand on a chair, it's, you know.
Girl, she could probably still be on the floor. I mean, like,
Yeah.
gravity's taking its toll. Like, it's fine.
It was really interesting though, because when that whole swing in parenting came, you know, you had Dr. Spock, who was, you know, my generation, what we were raised on, that we're supposed to be, they let the child be independent and all those things, and we became the latchkey kids, and, you know, then it completely swung the other way, and we started to have helicopter parents, and we got the Dr. Sears and co-sleeping, and all those things. I potty trained the last one at 19 months, and people were like, oh, there's no way he's ready. And I'm like, well, my grandmother, who had 6 of them in the cloth diaper days, said in those days, kids were all potty trained by about 18 months.
Wow.
So I'm going with her. And I'm tired of changing diapers.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm tired of changing diapers too, but we let Archer potty train himself basically, and it was just like the easiest thing ever.
I did 3-day boot camp.
Oh,
3 days, stayed home.
Literally,
done.
Archer turned. Well, I've heard it's different, a little different for the boys, but if yours was potty trained by 19 months, but Archer turned 3 and we got him a big boy bed, and he said, "Mommy, I don't want to wear diapers anymore." And I said, "Okay." And he never had an accident. And then 2 days later, he said, "Mommy, I don't want to wear a diaper at night anymore." And I said, "Let me put a towel or something down."
Rubber sheet.
And he never had an accident. Yeah. And it was like,
Yeah.
well, this is how it should be. When they're
See,
ready, I'll do it. Like, let's do it.
That was Annabelle. She was not quite 2, and she woke up from a nap, and I was going to change her diaper, and she was like, "No, big girls don't wear diapers. Big girls wear panties." Mm-hmm. So off we go to Target with a pantyless, diaperless child who refused to put on her diaper. I literally had her on towels in her car seat. I'm like, I don't know how this is going to work. I had a bowl in my handbag in case, like, we're standing in Target and she starts to go. There's a bowl. But, you know, for him, it took 4 or 5 more months for him to be night trained. And I remember telling my grandmother that he was house trained, and she said, "What is he, a puppy?" And it's like, "No, Graham. But if he's awake and we're at home, he's diaper free." And he has ADHD, so he's always had that excessive thirst. And I did not realize how much he drank and how often he pottied until we started potty training. And I was like, holy cow. I was spending like $65 or $70 a week on diapers.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, okay, we gotta...
This is going to go off in a whole new direction. Is excessive thirst like a thing tied to ADHD?
It is. There's a super fun, if you cannot sleep one night, highly recommend reading the whole paper. It's incredibly boring. Harvard did a study, I don't know, 18 years or so ago, and they found a link between hyperactivity and essential fatty acid deficiency. Hyperactive kids also often have eczema, and he would scratch until he bled because he had eczema like behind his knees and his elbows. We added about 2 tablespoons of ground flaxseed into his oatmeal every day. And within probably 3 weeks, his attention span improved by about 30%. Wow. The excessive thirst backed off, and the eczema was gone. And I had tried everything. Yes. Wow. And it made sense that they're so thirsty and they have the skin condition. They just don't absorb fats quite the right way. And my granddaughter's a ginger, and she has super flaky skin. Same thing, different way that they process fats.
Wow. We've been considering having Alice tested because she just, like, her inattentiveness is really, like, really strong. And like even in family therapy yesterday, where we're with a counselor who's specifically trained for, like, ADHD kids, because, like, we don't want to pay $2,000 for testing, but we're like, can we go ahead and whatever figure this out? Like, yesterday she's, like, swinging on this, like, one of those, like, basket swings, you know, or whatever. And she's, like, you know, 3 times in a 5-minute period. I'm like, hey, like, let's tone it down. It's like that kind of thing where it's just, like, she literally cannot focus. But she drinks constantly. I've never heard of that. But like even at night, like last night, she got up 4 times last night. We don't let her keep water in her bedroom because she spills it, and that's like her thing right now. Is we're like, no water in the bedroom, so she gets up, and I can hear her every time because the kitchen's right next to our bedroom. She gets up and she'll go get and drink water, and it like keeps her up because she gets up to drink so much.
Yeah.
Weird.
And take out as much sugar out of her diet as you can, and any like processed carbohydrate, treat it like sugar. But seriously, it'll
I only roll
change,
my eyes because her dad feeds her nothing but McDonald's or
it'll
Sonic.
change the world, because we were very, very lucky. I think the only thing that kept us from medicating him was I was like fanatical about his diet and his sleep schedule and exercise.
Yeah.
And he was probably 9 or 10 before we got to the age that there were not some days that we'd get up and be getting ready for school. And I'm like, okay, your teacher is going to like drown you in the toilet. If you go to school like this, go run around the house 25 times.
Yeah.
To burn it out, and walking on the treadmill for a long time, even as a young teenager. If he wanted to pick what he wanted to watch on TV, he had to be walking on the treadmill in the sunroom at least 1.5 miles per hour. And he would walk 4 miles and be perfectly happy. And we could tell a difference if he skipped it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like it just made such a big difference.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to have to figure some stuff out, but yeah, that's interesting.
Flaxseed's an easy add. And it doesn't have to be like the crazy expensive
We can
Whole
add it to
Foods,
like pancakes.
Bob's Red Milk.
Yeah.
You can put it in pancakes. You can put it in yogurt.
Yeah.
Just pick a yogurt that's not full of sugar.
Yeah.
Oatmeal, mashed potatoes. Whatever.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cool. Well, I've learned so much
I know.
today. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
What you got coming up this week?
I literally, probably about the reason my phone's gone off 27 times, close, has been the Pisgah land. We have a contract on this piece of land that I've been trying. Yeah, it's back and forth, but we're all like, okay, this one's going to be it. So like, we're doing that. It's going to be, they don't close till the middle of May. Because it's contingent on they're selling their primary residence. So we're doing first right, and they're good with that. So, and I've had like 3 calls about it today. So I'm like, this very well could end up being even better.
Activity breeds activity.
Yeah,
It really does, yeah.
So got that, and then I'm doing the mentorship program with Kathy.
Are you?
So
Good.
yeah, so Leading Edge is doing like a mentorship program, which I'm stoked for because literally I've either been calling you or Kathy like this whole time. I'm like, what does this mean? I don't know what I'm doing, because real estate school teaches you
Nada.
zilch, nothing,
Yeah.
not a thing. So it's intimidating, like starting to like actually get into real estate and doing the things, and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing.
And you can always call me.
Yeah.
That's literally half my day of agents calling me going, hey, I have this thing. I don't know what this is. Can you explain this to me?
Well, it was as dumb as like, how do I do this contract? Like, I don't know what I'm doing. So, but yeah, so that's
Absolutely.
that's
I have 2
me.
girlfriend dates this week.
Yes, good
Nice,
for you.
nice.
Dinner one night, drinks another. So
Okay.
That's great.
Yeah.
I'm at the stage of life where girl dates are kind of better than boy dates.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I have one that we have once a month. We get together for like happy hour at 4:30, and we have drinks and snacks, and we're both home in our jammies by 7:15.
I
It's
love
perfect.
that.
I think you and I should just keep doing what we did the other week. Where we're like, we just show up and like
I know.
just hang out and literally.
Elisa came in my house and like we just kind of laid on the couch and
Nobody does that anymore.
then I did my nails.
Yeah.
Like when I was a kid, my parents would have friends, people who they would go visiting.
Yeah.
Can we come visit? Nobody does that anymore.
Yeah.
We just
Everybody's
wanna sit in
"What?"
our
It doesn't have
sweatpants
to be
and-
like let's get dressed up and go to dinner.
Right.
I'm out of that stage. It's
Yeah.
too much work. Like
Yeah.
this is it. This is my.
You can come over to my house. I'll throw some pasta together.
Yeah.
I've got some Italian wine. We'll
Watch
open
some
that.
crappy TV.
I'm not getting out of my
She brought me
jammies.
some gummy bears.
did.
Some Reese's.
Yeah.
It's great. It's just what I needed.
That's my love language, is bringing people junk food.
Archer like devoured those gummy bears as soon as I put them on the counter. It was a free for all. He loves.
What are you doing this week?
I've learned which things I have to hide.
Yeah, I have to hide most of
All of
everything.
it. Yeah.
most everything.
Yeah. Same.
But if I hide it, I'll forget that it's there too. So I keep it out so I can.
My
Much on
the
it?
most engagement I've ever had on a social media post was right after COVID lockdown started, and I'm like, okay, who has a hidden lockdown snack, and what is it?
Yeah.
Everybody had something.
Oh, for
bet.
sure.
I
Yeah.
bet.
For sure.
Like you don't have to tell me where it is, but what is it?
Right.
That's like similar to the TikTok that I did that was like, what's your guilty, like,
Yeah.
what's the food that gets you through the day, like when the kids are screaming? Mine's cookie dough. But yeah. that was-
Haagen-Dazs rum
Oh.
raisin.
Speaking of snacks, I guess there's a Russell Stover store somewhere?
Yeah, in Athens.
Okay, Athens. They have boxes of what they call bloopers.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what they are?
Yes,
Is it
girl.
ugly? Is it just ugly candy?
Yeah, it's ugly candy.
It's like-
It tastes good. I have a whole box.
Oh,
and I'm
girl,
working
that's
my
like-
way, I'm
that's
working
like a
my
huge
way through
section.
it.
Cool.
Yeah.
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 You know about bloopers?
No.
Have you haven't been to the Russell?
No, somebody brought them to me.
We'll go.
But as
I'll take you.
as
Great.
moms, what do? We're baking cookies or whatever, and what do? We give the pretty ones to everybody else and we eat the ugly one.
We eat
Yeah,
the junk
for
ones.
sure.
Yeah, they taste the same.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. This week I'm doing my taxes.
I'm finishing mine up.
times.
I'm almost done.
Mine are a little convoluted. I'm breaking it down one company at a time. And so I finished the company with the long-term rentals, the company with the short-term rentals, and that company with a flip. And now I'm working on a different company with 5 flips, and then that company. And then I'll work on a different company. And then I'll work on my personal.
You have like what,
Grateful
7
for our
different, and then
accountant.
McKinney and Sons?
And then I'll work on Dad's. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
doing Dad's this year, so
Oh boy.
Just
Chills.
a-
Good
We have a
grief.
great accountant in Tuscaloosa we've had for many, many, many years. And I'm like, AD, tell me what you want from me.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I will send it.
Yeah.
We're switching to a new one this year, and I'm like, oh goodness.
Well, I'm not actually doing the taxes. I'm just
Getting
giving
it.
our
All the
accountant
stuff.
everything for the companies and
Yeah.
the flips.
But
and
still, that's
Dad
still
and me.
so
It starts to feel like a
time-consuming.
full-time
it's
job.
awful.
just
I told
digging out.
myself yesterday, if I can get like one company worth done per day this week and sent off, I would be done by Friday.
How's that going for you?
I achieved one company yesterday,
Woohoo!
and I am 4 flips out of 5 in today. I've got to work on the P&L for the actual company info. So I'm getting there. And then tomorrow I'll work on the roofing company, and then the next day I'll work on the real estate company, and then Friday will be my personal and Dad's personal.
Oh Lord.
And then I will not have to worry about it again.
Donations alone takes me a full day because we do so many donations.
Yeah.
And valuing all that stuff.
I honestly don't even bother.
Well, because Andrew doesn't-
I do lots of donations too, and I'll have I only get one slip.
Just take a picture. You don't have to fill it out. At the end of the year, I just go back through all the pictures. I'm like, oh, that's 8 onesies. Okay, 8 onesies.
No.
Whatever.
I'm gonna say
This amount.
12 garbage bags of clothes, $2,000.
That's about to be me.
That's about
I'm like, I want everything out of my house. I do. Like we'll probably downsize in the next year, 18 months, and I'm looking around and I'm like, I can't
start
not taking it with
somewhere.
me. I'm gonna get rid of it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I called or I texted my mom and my sister and my stepmom, and I was like, hey guys, I need to clean my office and I need to clean out my closet if anybody is willing to help, and then y'all can let me know what y'all need help with and we'll all convene at your house. Let's
Why am I not in the group chat? 'Cause I would come help you.
Come on, let's tackle some shit together.
I would absolutely come help
'cause-
you. I love doing that stuff.
I want a core capsule wardrobe. I don't want my closet to be full because I wear it. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't. There's so much crap in
crap
there.
I don't wear.
know what's in there.
Yeah. Oh.
I want to just.
Yeah.
I do the thing where you turn your hangers around at the beginning of the year, and then if they're not flipped by the end of the year, you get rid of it.
I like
Because it means
that.
you haven't worn it all year.
Oh, I know. I can look and go, nope, didn't wear any of that whole section.
Yeah.
Didn't wear any of that whole section. I wore like 5 things in this section.
Yeah. So
I work
I
at
need to
home. I
redo
live
it.
at Jim
I've
Close.
got stuff that's that are 2 sizes too big from right after I had Warren that I haven't.
See, I don't like to get rid of things that are too big. I'll get rid of some that's too small, but too big, I'm like, man, that looks cozy.
I still have my favorite pre-baby jeans from before Lucius. There is not a chance in hell I am ever putting those on again, but I'm not getting rid of them. I'm not.
I'm even more so that way. I used to be like, no, I'm never wearing those. I throw them up. But since I lost 30 pounds going through my divorce in 3 months, intentionally, but man, I looked fantastic. And so I'm like, one day I'm going to do it again.
I know.
Because I did it once, right?
I don't see it, but that's the
know.
one thing I'm going to hold on to is that one pair of jeans that are probably so far out of style now, even if I could wear them.
Girl, I don't know. Almost every style of jeans is in style right now.
True.
Like, you could probably wear anything and
True.
it'll all be...
Yeah.
Mom jeans are in style. Skinny jeans are still in style. Flares are in style. Everything.
Well, hers are cute, but then I see some that are wide leg that just look like a paper bag all cramped because the fabric's too thick, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm not wearing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are my only wide leg pair of jeans, but they're so comfy.
They look comfy.
I love
Yeah.
them.
Wide leg pants are rapidly becoming my uniform, but I haven't found a pair of jeans yet that
Judy Blues.
I liked really.
Judy Blues are my jam.
I
They're
keep hearing that.
So comfortable and wonderful, and they're high-waisted, and they suck you in, and
They do feel soft.
they're great. They're fantastic.
That's not the first time I've done that either
Yeah,
to her.
they're feeling you up.
Yeah, I do it all the time. It's normal.
I have a really like luscious pair of leggings, and she was like,
The Butterlux.
"Oh my
They're
gosh,"
so
like
nice.
all over my legs.
Like feeling her up. Like, oh, these are amazing.
They're fantastic.
Yeah.
They're fantastic. I'm also going to sign up for HotWorx tomorrow.
God bless. I mean, more power to you. Listen.
HotWorx Madison. If you need a gym membership, come to HotWorx Madison. Come work out with me.
Can I do that? Are they doing a trial thingy or whatever? I'll do the. Wasn't it like a one-time something?
I have no idea.
I'll sit at home and drink wine
But
and send you all the
think-
good vibes while you do HotWorx.
I do think that because it's leap year, they're doing a special on the 29th where you get like so many months for $29.
Oh, okay.
And I don't think it's like a long-term contract either. I think you can go month to month.
I don't like to be hot.
I don't either, but like if I can sweat 5 pounds off in like 2 weeks, I'll be happy.
I love an infrared sauna, but like hot yoga, I feel like I'm just going to die.
Well, and the thing about HotWorx specifically is there's like 10 saunas or 8 to 10 saunas in the workout area, and you get to decide the temperature. It's
that's
not
nice.
like going into hot yoga and
It's
the room is
105.
108 degrees with whatever percent humidity, and you can't change it. You can change it in the sauna.
Because I'm going to tell you, that'll make me stop before anything else does. Not even fatigue. Like, if I'm just hot and I can't breathe.
They
think
even
it's the
have
humidity.
rowers.
Yes.
Yeah. And you can change that. They even have rowers in the saunas. Like, they have a specific sauna with like 2 or 3 rowers, and they have one with bikes, and I'm excited about it.
I'm going to do my booty shaking in the living room. That's what I'm going to do. Because that's what Allie wants to do. Allie wants to dance with me, and that's what we
You
gonna
have to
do.
come with me at least once.
I will.
Ammon's joining too, and he said that he's going to do... He feels like he's getting older and his joints are not great. And like his dad had to have like a hip replacement. And so he was like, oh, every time I walk, I can just tell that I'm going to have a hip replacement. So he's like, I'm going to do yoga every day for a year and see if it makes a difference.
More power to him.
And he probably will, because
He's once he decides he's committed to something,
he does it. Yeah.
oh, he is all in.
I used to go to the gym like 3 or 4 days a week, and I haven't been in, 2 years. I live in a really hilly neighborhood. Like, I'll go out and walk in my neighborhood, but
Yeah.
See,
All I was
that
doing-
sounds awful to me.
When I lost that weight, all I was doing was calorie counting, and I'd burn about 350 calories a day just with exercise. That's all I was doing. That was it.
Yeah, it's a calorie counting thing for me.
But once you get used to it,
Those
like, and once
bloopers.
you remember, I know.
350 calories.
Yeah. Whoops.
well, then I'll be so good, like all day. I'll be like, oh, it's been amazing. And then I blow it all at the end of the
Oh,
day.
for sure.
Yeah. If my kids are like, Mommy, can we have dessert? I'm like, hell yeah, we can. What you want? You want to go to Crumble? What do you want to do?
Yeah.
You want Mommy to make cookies?
Yeah.
I mean, every night. It's bad. These kids.
I fell off.
Terrible influence.
I fell off my stairs in Italy and pulled ligaments or
no.
something in my foot, and I still don't have like full range of motion in my foot. I've gained 5 pounds because I haven't,
darn.
I just wasn't
You're not moving it as much.
as active.
Yeah.
And now it's
Have
like,
you gotten it looked at?
okay, it's got no. I mean, I'm just a gymnast. Like it's fine. I can tell that it's getting better.
Okay.
I've even worn heels. I mean, they were like
Yeah.
block heels and like a 2-inch. They weren't
Yeah.
like good stilettos or anything, but it's getting there. If I do some ballet bar exercises, it'd probably help it a bunch. I haven't done that.
Gotcha. Wow. As long as you have a plan.
That was my thing of, okay, if it persists, then yes, I would go to, ortho and get it looked at, sports med or wherever.
Yeah.
But I've seen huge improvements. Just, if I rotate just a little too far, I still feel it.
Yeah.
I broke my toe last year, and it still hurts.
Dang.
I'm not getting it. What are they going to do?
It's one of the few things I haven't broken is a toe.
Yeah. Oh, girl. My little pinky toes look like lima beans. I break them on everything. I hit them on everything, and I probably re-break them. This one's probably been broken 4 times. Then I just...
That's terrible.
Girl.
Have you ever seen the movie?
I want to get them chopped off at this point. They're just
Have
a
you seen
hazard.
the Eddie Murphy movie Harlem Nights,
No.
where like he shoots this lady and she's howling that he shot her in her pinky toe, and it's hysterical.
Yeah, that I would. Yeah, mine just need to go. They don't help me stand at all. They're just
You are
in the way at
so
this point.
Just there to attract coffee table legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel that.
Oh, pinky toes are like the most hit part of my body. That's for sure. Like
Corner of the bed.
Yeah.
That post.
Yeah.
Like,
And
takes
right
me
here on the hip where you
I
get,
have a
like,
bruise right now right
furniture
there.
and countertops and all of that. And somebody's like, well, how'd you get that bruise? I don't know.
Who knows?
It really starts in your 30s. It's your 30s that
Yeah.
it just really just goes downhill from there.
You're right. All these random bruises show up and
Well, this has been so educational. I have learned so much. I really have.
good. This has been fun. It's different but nice having a guest on and just having like general, like we didn't have anything to go by. We didn't have a timeline of stuff to talk about. It was just kind of nice and casual. So thanks for being here.
I appreciate y'all inviting me.
Yeah. So call Jennifer for all your mortgage lending needs.
That's right.
Please.
You've already given out your number.
Yep.
Yeah.
And let us know if you need a roof or
photography, video, for anything now. I'm opening up my genre.
are you? Okay. There you go. Or real estate. Call
Yeah.
us. We got you. We got you covered.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining. This has been long.
fun.
Sorry
Yeah.
guys.
All good.
Hope it's been very entertaining.
Yeah.
And we will see you for episode 14.
So 14.
Won't be so long this time
It might
between
be.
episodes.
You never know. Oh, well, hopefully not. Yeah. Bye.
Bye guys. Are we gonna? We don't.
Yeah,
we don't have a wide shot.
We need to do a
Jennifer.
air five. Yay! Woo!
If you're an agent, like, you know,
Get your toes
I was trying,
done.
like my toes are in your shot.
So excited.
Kind
for
of looks like
you.
your foot's just been up backwards.
So excited for you.
Yeah.
four in the, like,
Yeah.
four in the, like,
Yeah.
four in the.
Wow.
Don't look at that.
Like, I'm literally about to punch you if you do that again. When you see a blow up doll come across our Amazon account, just go with it. That was the most fun day at work ever.
love that. I bet. Our first guest. Well, and we've got little kids, so you may have to carry this conversation.
Well, no, because
Who cares? You do. You care.
I don't care.
I'm worried about my bangs. I hate my forehead more than I dislike hair in my eyes, I guess.
Okay, cool. I got it. 10-4, good buddy.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you ready? Okay. Look where you're supposed to look. Don't be looking at me. I know I'm attractive, but don't look at me.
Okay, fine.
Okay.